Hello, and welcome to the Well-Read Monocle. Today, we are opening the heavy, iron-bound doors of a truly unique and unsettling masterpiece, The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. This novel is a dark, contemporary fantasy that blends the mundane with the cosmic, weaving a tale of ancient gods, stolen humanity, and the terrifying price of absolute knowledge. It is a story about 12 children raised in a library that contains the secrets of the universe, and what happens when the man who holds their leashes, a figure known simply as Father, goes missing. In this video, we will walk through the entirety of the narrative, explore the strange cast of characters, and dissect the themes of power and trauma that lie at its heart. So, do settle in. It is time to enter the library. Part 1. The premise and the missing father. The story begins in the aftermath of a catastrophe. Decades ago, a suburb in Virginia called Garrison Oaks was devastated by what appeared to be a nuclear blast. 12 children survived the event, but they were not rescued in the traditional sense. They were adopted by a man named Adam Black, whom they call Father. Father is not merely a man. He is a 60,000-year-old entity who rules over the current age of the universe. Father took these 12 children into his home, a place known as the library. The library exists outside of normal time and space, a vast pyramid housing all the knowledge of the universe, organized into 12 catalogs. Each child was assigned a single catalog to master. Carolyn, our protagonist, studies languages, not just French or Mandarin, but the languages of storms, animals, and fire. David, perhaps the most dangerous of the siblings, studies war and murder. Margaret studies the dead and the forgotten lands. Jennifer studies healing. They were forbidden, under pain of torture, to read from any catalog but their own. When the story opens, the librarians are adults, though their aging has been arrested. They have been exiled from the library. Father has disappeared, and a defensive barrier known as a Rysock aerial prevents their return. They are currently living in a mundane suburban house, watched over by a confused neighbor, Mrs. McGillicuddy, while they desperately try to locate Father and fend off the encroaching enemies from Father's past, ancient entities like the Duke and strange geometric monstrosities. Part 2. The Heist and the Everyman. Carolyn acts as the primary strategist for the group. To navigate the modern American world, she recruits Steve Hodgson, a Buddhist-leaning plumber and former petty thief. Steve knew Carolyn when they were children in Garrison Oaks before the adoption, though his memories were wiped by Father. Carolyn spins a web of manipulation. She hires Steve for a burglary, claiming she needs to retrieve a specific item to bypass the library's defenses. However, she also frames him for the murder of a police detective to gain leverage over the United States government. Carolyn is playing a very long game. We are also introduced to Erwin Leffington, a highly competent, disillusioned war hero working for Homeland Security. Erwin begins investigating the strange events surrounding the librarians, bizarre murders, impossible bank robberies, and the blackened sun. You see, following Father's disappearance, the sun has vanished, threatening all life on Earth with an icy extinction. While the other librarians, particularly the violent and simple-minded David, believe they are merely holding the fort until Father returns, Carolyn knows better. She knows Father is gone for good. And she intends to take his place. Part 3. The Escalation. The narrative reveals the horrifying extent of the librarian's upbringing. Father was a cruel tutor. To teach David the art of war, Father forced him into a bronze bull to be roasted alive repeatedly, only for Jennifer to resurrect him the next day. To teach Michael the way of animals, Father blinded him daily. This trauma has stripped them of much of their humanity. David, for instance, wears a tutu and a flak jacket, oblivious to human social norms, and possesses the strength to slaughter entire squads of soldiers with a spear. As the government closes in, attempting to bomb the librarians, Carolyn executes her masterstroke. She manipulates David into a confrontation. David, believing himself the rightful heir to Father's empire, battles Carolyn. He is martially superior, nearly unkillable, and capable of reading thoughts. However, Carolyn has done the forbidden. She has studied outside her catalog. She has secretly mastered the arts of war and memory. During their final duel, Carolyn utilizes a technique to trap David in a moment of eternal, frozen anguish. She transforms him into a singularity of suffering, a black sun, to provide heat, if not light, to the freezing earth. It is revealed that Carolyn herself orchestrated Father's death. She sneaked up on him and killed him, proving herself the only one ruthless enough to be his successor. Part 4, The Ascension. With David defeated and Father gone, Carolyn ascends to the throne. She becomes the new god of this reality. However, the world is broken. The black sun, fueled by David's eternal torture, casts a gloomy, maddening light that causes crops to fail and despair to spread. Steve, the plumber, proves to be the moral anchor of the story. Despite Carolyn's betrayals, he maintains a sense of compassion. He realizes that Carolyn, for all her power, has a heart cold, a frozen, traumatized core that prevents her from ruling with benevolence. She is too cold. In a final, tragic act of sacrifice, Steve offers himself as a replacement for the sun. He utilizes the magical properties of the library to burn himself with pure joy and compassion, replacing David's dark star with a true, warm sun. Carolyn facilitates this, allowing her only friend to die so the world might live. In the epilogue, we see Carolyn settling into her role. She is lonely, vast, and powerful. She visits a version of Father who has retired to create his own new universe. He confirms that he essentially groomed her to kill him, as he wished to retire, and only a student capable of murdering him was worthy of the job. Carolyn resurrects a few of her siblings, including Michael and the wolves, to keep her company. She creates a new order, repairing the earth and the sky. The book ends with the arrival of spring, a season of hope, as Carolyn, the new Father, watches over a healing world. The library at Mount Char is heavily concerned with the theme of power and the cost of acquiring it. To become a god, Carolyn had to shed her humanity. She had to betray her friends, murder her father, and sacrifice her lover. The book asks whether supreme authority is compatible with human empathy. It also explores trauma. The librarians are essentially abused children given the power of gods. Their strange behaviors, Margaret's obsession with the dead, David's violence, are manifestations of their tortured upbringings. The story is a journey of overcoming that trauma, not by healing it, but by integrating it into a new, terrifying identity. Finally, there is the theme of language. In this universe, to know the word for a thing is to control it. Carolyn's catalog, Languages, turns out to be the most powerful of all, because reality itself is written in code. By mastering the language of the universe, she rewrites the story. The Library at Mount Char is a brutal, funny, and deeply imaginative novel. It takes the trope of the chosen one and twists it into something unrecognizable. It suggests that the universe is not run by benevolent deities, but by damaged people doing their best to keep the lights on. Thank you for joining me for this summary. If you enjoyed this dive into the stacks, do consider subscribing to the Well-Read Monocle for more literary explorations. Until next time, happy reading.